Bryce, I know last year was one of those things. It seemed like you're playing well for a while and you go all out and kind of get banged up a little bit. How frustrating was that for you? And then heading into this year, how do you feel?
I mean, it was a little frustrating. Obviously, I started off playing pretty well, and then came out of the lineup after Samford, where I kind of hurt my knee. But and then it gave Dakota that opportunity to become the player that he is now, and it honestly helped us a lot for this year, I think. And so, but I'm just looking forward to this year and hopefully staying healthy and taking care of my body and growing in that way.
Tanner?
Coach Lamona said you're kind of going back and forth between middle infield, some outfield right now. What's that kind of process been like for you during this offseason and fall?
I mean, so I've just split time between the two. Getting most of my work in left field, I feel like that's where I'm going to be opening day. But if something were to happen, I need to be able to play the infield too. It just needs to be that next man up mentality. And then we can plug somebody else in the outfield that might not be able to play the infield. Just becoming more versatile as a player is something that's important to not only myself but the team, and just keeping people in the lineup that can be healthy and stay at 100% throughout the entire year.
Bradley?
Bryce, over here. Bradley Davis, WAPT Sports in Jackson. Nice to meet you. So I'm assuming that you played against Dakota, being in the MAIS down in the Jackson Metro. So how cool is that? You mentioned with what happened with you, the good thing about that was he was able to step up and become the player he is. So how cool is it this year you go from playing each other, going at each other, to now y'all are, two of the key guys that MSU's going to rely on this year to get things done?
Yeah, it's really fun. So I played against him my senior year when he was still at Canton, and we ended up winning that game. I still talk to him about it a lot, so that's fun. But yeah, just him being here and us being together, I mean, being able to grow together now and just look back on some of the memories playing against each other when we were growing up is really cool.
Robbie?
I mean, obviously y'all had a couple of disappointing seasons, but with the new pitching coach and the guys that you'll have returning, I mean, what's the confidence level around this team? What's the feel like in that locker room?
So this year we've been talking a lot where we feel confident, and especially like just facing pitchers this fall, it seemed a lot tougher than the past 2 years. Just the way that they're going about their work is different. You'll see, I'll come to the field at night and you'll have pitchers going through just different routines and things to strengthen not only their body but their mind, and I think that's something that's really important to this year. And I think we're going to be a lot tougher mentally this year as well.
Steve?
So who are of the new pitchers, who is the toughest one to hit against? Who gives you the most trouble and why?
I haven't really thought about that one. Maybe Ligon. Probably Carson Ligon is the toughest. I don't really want to say why though, because I don't want to give a scouting report to anybody this year. So, but yeah, he's been really good. Tough at bat.
Doug?
Bryce, if I remember right, you hit the first home run last year. So, and you got to talk smack with Hunter and Dakota, our guys about that.
Well, I live with Hunter, so yeah, I got to talk to him about that. I always joke with him. It took him a couple weeks to get his first one. I did it in my first game, so that's always a fun conversation to have with him. But yeah, I mean, it was really exciting last year to get the first one.
Dakota, new year, new mindset for you. How would you kind of assess where you are in your personal development and also the confidence level you have in a team?
I mean, the confidence level is way up than last year. I feel like this team, I mean, they bring a lot of energy, and like personally for me, I feel way better. Like I feel like really good this year. Like way better than I did last year. Like the confidence level is way up in the sky. I expect big things from me. Like I'm ready. Like I'm getting the chills right now just thinking about it.
Robbie?
Dakota, I know after the big season you had, there were some thoughts about entering the portal. For you, quickly got out of it. I mean, what went into that decision to remain in Mississippi State?
Really just blocking out the outside noise. I mean, everybody got an opinion about the life that they don't live. For me, it was just like this is my decision. You know, like not gonna let anybody take this moment away from me. Playing in front of the best fans in college baseball. So,
Coach talked about just, how much Mississippi State means to you. What does Mississippi State mean to you? Long-time commitment, played here last year, decided to stay.
oh yeah, it means a lot. I mean, I've been committed here since 8th, 9th grade. So like, the relationship I built with Coach Gotro and Coach Lim throughout those years has been like top notch, and like the loyalty. I don't question their loyalty about me, and I know they believe in me, and they expect big things out of me. So I'm gonna give them what they want.
Steve?
Beginning of the year last year, hitting 3-hole, having to see that diet of breaking balls over and over and over again. I know it was a bit of a struggle at times, but maybe how has that made you a better player as a sophomore?
Really just, I feel like, really just taking the time out, just not pressing a lot. First time coming in as a freshman, playing in front of 10, 12,000, like that got to me a lot, but really just getting comfortable and not trying to press or do too much.
Bradley?
Hey Dakota, Bradley Davis with WBT Sports in Jackson. Good to meet you. So when we were talking with Bryce, I asked him about how y'all competed. He said that he beat you when you were at Canton. He still gives you a little bit of a hard time about it. Just tell me about y'all's relationship and how cool it is to have someone you knew from back home, with you at Mississippi State.
Yeah, it's been great. Me and Beans, we call him Beans. He's been hard on me. Like I got here and he didn't let me just take a rep for a joke. Like he was hard on me. But yeah, he beat me in high school. But like it's great. It's great playing on the same team with him. I feel it's like the best feeling ever, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. I just when talking about how much Mississippi State means to you when you were trying to make that decision to go or stay, when you hit that walk up against Ole Miss and everybody rushed, and that was such a big moment in front of all the fans. Was that maybe one of the things, like one of the feelings that kind of pulled you back in?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Cam?
Talking about how big of a Mississippi State guy you are, and how much pride do you and kind of these guys from Mississippi who maybe grew up State fans, how much pride do you guys take in trying to get this program back where it was just a couple years ago?
I mean, we talk about going to Omaha every night, honestly. Like, we vision it, like, I vision it every day. So, like, whatever it takes, like, that's my goal this year, to get to Omaha, and not just to get there to win it, That's how I feel, and that's how my team feels, and, like, we're going to do everything in our power to get this program back to where it was.
Is there anything specific that you guys are talking about, or anything specific that you think needs to be fixed for that to become a reality?
Really not really. I mean, everybody's just committed to doing their part and doing, like, whatever it takes to help the team win, not just trying to do your own thing. This is a team sport, so we're going to bring it in together and lock it in together this year.
Doug?
Dakota, you may not want to share any numerical goals, but what needs to happen this year for you to feel like it was a success?
Just going out there, being myself, doing whatever it takes to help this team win, and whether that's stealing the base or trying to hit one through the 4-hole, just score a run, Like, I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
One of those long time coming type moments, but now that it's here, how do you feel physically and emotionally?
Physically, I feel great, and that's really important, obviously. I haven't been prepared these past couple seasons to pitch, and now I'm finally where I need to be. Emotionally, it's been a roller coaster. There's been a lot of ups and downs in rehab, and I'm just really grateful that I'm allowed to pitch now. And really, what's taking over right now is the excitement for the season. I just can't wait to get back out there for the first time, and just really, really excited.
Robbie?
What was that like the last year and a half? I mean, you're sitting there in the dugout and you know that you can't go out there and help the team, and kind of the relief that you feel now that you're going to be able to do that this year. What's that been like the last year and a half, just kind of leading up to this moment?
Yeah, for sure. I was just talking to Jim. I told him I think that's been the toughest part of rehab. Rehab in general is just really tough, especially from Tommy John. But just watching the team try to perform and struggle these past couple seasons has been so brutal for me. Thankfully, I think we've made a big turnaround this offseason. We've made a lot of strides. I feel really prepared to help the team as a leader, and I don't know, just be the best teammate I can possibly be now that I'm healthy, and now they can actually hand the ball off to me, so that helps too. So it's more than just sitting on the bench and trying to help in that way. But I don't know, I'm really excited, and that's definitely the toughest part of rehab, but I'm glad that that's over.
Tanner?
You know, we talked about in the fall, Coach Parker coming in and trying to rework some of you guys from an athletic standpoint.
Mhm.
Now coming out on the other side of that, do you feel like that's helped you a lot?
Yeah, definitely. I actually, this is a kind of a funny story, but the first pitch I threw this fall, I executed a perfect fastball low and outside at a bullpen, and I was all excited. And Coach Parker said, "Why do you do this and this and this?" Like after one pitch, and I was thinking to myself, like, dude, I just nailed that spot. Like, what are you, what are you talking about? And then he broke down my mechanics and was talking about how I could move differently and better. And turns out I've just, I didn't have perfect mechanics, and not that I thought I did. I just, I didn't. I was so result based, and I'd see that I executed a pitch, and I'd be satisfied with that. Whereas there's more to pitching than just that. There's lots of different ways to look at it. But with Parker, he's really opened our eyes about moving better, making sure we're getting the best efficiency out of our body that we possibly can, and that is making us so much more confident in ourselves. It makes us throw harder. It makes our breaking balls better. It makes us spin the ball better. I mean, just everything you can think of, he has helped us in that way. So we're really excited about that.
David?
As frustrating as the last couple of years was, how did you apply it to maybe scouting, thinking about your pitching, watching other pitchers, and learning new tricks and ideas of it once you were cleared that you could put into action?
Yeah, lots of ways. I feel like I've learned so much. Like I said, I was just talking to Jim, and I said that I feel like, so the last time I pitched, I was a junior. Now I'm a fifth-year senior, and even though that's, a 2-year difference, I feel like I am entirely more knowledgeable about the game of baseball. I've had the chance to coach first base, and which is, kind of a funny thing, but at the same time, I've gotten to be around the hitters more, and I've understood that side more. So I just feel more prepared in the knowledge way, which is so important for a pitcher. I just feel like I'm not going to make big mistakes that a young guy would make, at least hopefully not, and definitely not as often as I would when I was younger. So I think in that way, it's been very, very helpful for me to be able to sit out and learn the game for a little while. Of course, that wouldn't be what I would choose to do if I could go back, but it's gotten me to where I am today, and I'm excited about it.
Steve?
Going back to Tulane, you had a sparkling 8th inning.
Yep.
You didn't come back out for the 9th, and nobody knew that you were injured other than your coaches and teammates.
Right.
And Lamona's got absolutely crushed for that, like on social media.
Yeah,
But he sat there and ate it for you, didn't divulge your situation. Looking back on that, what did that do for your relationship with him, and what does that say about him as a coach?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. That's something I haven't really talked about, and I appreciated that so much. I mean, and I wanted so badly to, be able to go out on social media and say it was me. Like I was hurt, and but that's just kind of what had to happen in the moment. And Coach Lim is such a player's coach. I mean, he always has our backs, and I can't thank him enough for doing that for me. Because he took so much, for me in that way. Same thing with Landon, and obviously Landon's was a little bit more obvious, and for me it was just double the pain in one weekend. So I don't know. I just definitely increased our relationship. I mean, I've always appreciated him as a head coach, and I've thought he's great, but at that moment I realized like this guy is always going to have my back, and he wants what's best for me. So I really appreciated it.
I believe you're the last name left from the 21 roster. So as a senior and a leader, do you find opportunities to share that with the younger players, that championship mentality, what it takes to win?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I absolutely do. They ask a lot of questions about it. Like you said, I am the last person, and those guys from that team are still around pretty often. So I get a chance to talk to them still, and I feel like that was yesterday for me. You know, that's just such a good memory. So I do share a lot with this team, but at the same time, I think it's really important that we know that we have to move on. You know, so I think it's good that I've got that knowledge. It's definitely good, and it's good that I can share some of it. But we don't want that to kind of loom over our team. Like, we want to be the 2024 state Bulldogs, and we want to have a completely different identity than we had last year and the year before, and even in 21. Even though that's the ultimate goal, we don't want to be trying to be that team, you know. So it's definitely good that I've got that knowledge, and I can help some of the younger guys know what it's like to be a winner. But at the same time, it's also good that we don't have half national championship winners and half new guys, where there's kind of a big divide in the team. So we've moved on from it, but we know it's our goal. So that's definitely a good thing.
Bradley.
Hey, Stone, Bradley Davis with WAPT Jackson. Good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
So you mentioned that you've had the chance to kind of almost be a coach a little bit in the last couple of years. So with that extra knowledge, where do you see the pitching staff this year compared to this time last year? Like, do you see kind of improvement? Does it feel a little bit different?
Yeah, it does. Last year, and you know, we had no lack of talent these past couple of seasons. Last year we had probably more of a confidence problem than a talent problem. And this year we've got probably more talent and a lot more confidence, and that's the biggest difference. And you know, that sounds like a little thing, but the belief in yourself as a pitcher, I mean, pitching is so mental. And when you have the belief in the ability to give the ball to the next guy and believe that they're going to succeed. I just think about myself in 21. I'd, you know, give up a run, then give the ball to Landon Sims, and I just, you know, think, all right, so what? He's going to get me out of this, you know. And that kind of belief was so freeing, and it allowed me to have a lot of confidence in the team and in myself. And we've got a lot more like that this year, and that's really, really exciting. And it's not just me that thinks that. It's all the guys, and especially the guys that have been here these past couple of years. They really know it's a lot different right now. And thanks to Coach Parker, I mean, he's really helped us gain that confidence back in ourselves. So we're really excited.
David.
You know, could the timing be right for you? I mean, the fact as much as you hated to miss those 2 years, now you've got a team, the defense has improved, the offense is rounding in shape, you've got a more versatile staff and do more things. Could the timing be right for you to really have a great last year?
Yeah, I definitely could be. You know, I really hope that that's exactly what happens. I'm just gonna, you know, trust in God's plan and keep my fingers crossed that we've got a great season coming along for the team. And Coach Lim says this all the time, but he says a high tide rises all boats, and it's really important for us to remember that, you know, it's team first, and as a result of us prioritizing the team, we will each be elevated as well, and on a personal level. And I think that's what I've got to remember for myself. You know, is the timing right? Yes. I need to make sure I'm the best teammate possible, and as a result, I might have a great season. So that's the goal.
All right. Obviously, there was a fireman situation for you last year. You started some, you relieved some. What do you anticipate your role being this year?
I honestly have no idea now. I mean, it's just kind of taking it day by day, just winning the day. I think that's kind of been my whole thing this whole winter. I've just been trying to get better every single day, and then the roles, they'll take care of themselves. The coaches will make their decisions. I'll let that decision be their decision. For me, it's just about going out and getting better every single day.
Robbie.
You've been with Coach Parker now for a few months, and what's the differences you see in how he utilizes you guys and works with you guys individually?
I think it's the ability for us to go into a bullpen and he can work with both pitchers throwing at the same time. We'll have two guys throwing at once, and it's really nice for him to be able to work with both guys, and he sees little things that you may not feel when you're throwing, and he kind of helps you slow yourself down, realize you got to make an adjustment somewhere, and then he kind of shows you how to do that, which is a big thing for me. Just being able to see that and then kind of feeling what he shows me kind of helps me get better. So I think it's just his ability to kind of work you through the process of getting better is very good.
Steve?
One of the things that I heard in the fall is that he was curious how you threw as hard as you did without making some fine-tuned adjustments to your mechanics. And so now that you've made those adjustments, have Have you seen an increase in velo? And in addition to that, maybe how do you feel now on the mound?
Yeah, so for me, it was like the fall was kind of fighting. I wasn't fighting, but I guess unconsciously my body was fighting what he was teaching just in game. I would do it in drill work, on kind of get better every day in drill work, and then kind of made it muscle memory, as you call it. And it's just the process of being kind of getting through the process of the rough patches where you're not feeling right. And then now in the spring, I've never felt this good on the mound. I've never felt like so smooth, just the ability to move smooth down the mound. I think that'll translate to maybe velocity, but for me, I'm really focused this year on just command of the fastball, but also the off speed. That'll be a big piece for me this year.
Doug?
Nate, in the fall, we talked about, you mentioned a couple things that Coach Parker had done for you, some subtle things in your form and your delivery. And I've seen you talk about some of your new pitches, so can you kind of just give us a little idea of how 23 Nate Dohm compares to 24 Nate Dohm?
Yeah, so I was talking to my dad, and I always look at myself last year. I'm like, man, I sucked last year. Like, that's just how I look at it. And for me, like this year, it's just the difference of being able to throw off speed. I think last year I struggled at times at throwing off speed when I needed to, and that was a huge thing that Coach Parker put a big emphasis on. The second we got to campus this summer, and then in through the fall, it was just we got to get better with the off speed. So for me, it's just the ability to throw 3 off speed pitches with my fastball, and then mixing in a secondary fastball in there as well, with a little more drop and run to it.
Steve?
Coach Cheese and Lamonis retooled the catcher room a little bit. So as a guy that throws to those receivers, what are your thoughts about the room, and what kind of confidence level do you have in that group?
Yeah, that's they've been putting in a ton of work every single day. It's really cool to watch. It's really fun to look at that group get better as a group. I think you look at where they were in the fall, and then you look at them now, it's like they're just night and day better. It just gives you a lot of confidence throwing to them. It's really nice to be able to throw a bullpen, and then they'll have a little bit of input. You can have a little dialogue back and forth about what you need from each other, and what both of you guys need to work, like myself and the catcher included, just being able to kind of have a dialogue about what needs to be a little bit better by both of us. So I think it's just the ability to kind of to get each other better in a way.
Cam?
Stone was kind of talking about how he felt maybe last year's pitching staff just had a bit of a confidence issue at times. Do you feel like, personally and as a staff, that the confidence is, y'all's confidence is higher this year? And if so, where does that higher confidence come from?
I think this confidence comes from the ability to, I would say, all right, so preparation. I've always been big on prep. Being the most prepared, you're the most confident. That's how I've always been. I feel like as a pitching staff, we're just very prepared this year, and that leads to us being very confident. I'd say I think this year as a whole, I think we're going into this season very, very confident, very happy about where we're at. Still more work to be done, still a few weeks left, but it's just about taking every day to prepare for the season, and once we get out there, I mean, the preparation it's whoever's most prepared is gonna win, and that's how I've always kind of attacked it.
David?
Besides all the technical preparations that the coach is doing with you, as you get into scrimmages, how much is this offense going to help you pitchers get ready for what you're going to see from SEC offenses?
Yeah, it's really nice to face these guys all the time. I mean, they're best hitters you can face. I mean, it's guys like Dakota, Hunter, Beans, Bryce Chance. Bryce Chance is probably the most annoying hitter to face. I would say he's just very tough, a very tough out, and I tell him that. I mean, we always kind of go back and forth, it'll be nice. I'm facing him today, so that'll be fun. But it's just the ability to face really, 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 really good hitters is just huge for us going into the season. It makes sure you're on top of your game. It makes sure that you have all the pitches ready. It makes sure you're mentally ready to deal with adversity and guys who can. You may throw a good pitch and it gets hit very far. I mean, that's just part of it. That's going to happen in the SEC no matter what. So being able to get used to that kind of stuff early is big, especially for new guys to the program and the younger guys especially too. It's just being able to face your own guys like that is huge.
you're the old guy now, right? I mean, and so I know maybe you wanted to get drafted, everybody does, but how does this new opportunity maybe mean something to you?
Yeah, you know, it's just a chance to get us back on the map, back on track, and you know, I didn't come here just to be average anyway. So just coming back here and just helping the young guys realizing what it takes to win and what the drive it takes to win is a big thing for me. So.
Danny P.
Coach said that you're more likely going to be the leadoff guy this year. Just talk about that role, and I know you experimented a little bit with that last year, but just talk about going in this year, what your mindset will be up there.
Yeah, so my mindset is just putting my team in the best position. So I want to lead off the games. Like, I want to set the tone for the team. I know when I go, they go, and they follow track. And like I said, I want to help the young guys get this program back on track. So.
Steve.
Fall competition in the middle infield's pretty severe. I mean, you and David and Dylan Cobb. When you see those guys to your right now, both of those guys, really, how comfortable are you playing with them, and what's been your impressions of them this fall?
Yeah, no, just them competing with each other has been it's been awesome to watch. Both really good shortstops. Dylan Cobb's got a really bright future. David Mershon's really good as well, and it's just, more importantly, they're just both guys of Christ, all of us. So that's what surprised me the most, and just having those guys around me, it just helps me and the team be better. So.
Bradley.
Amaini, Bradley Davis with WABT Sports in Jackson. Good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
So Nate mentioned that it's been really good going against some of the best hitters in the country to get them prepared. Obviously, that goes both ways. So being with the program a while, how are your feelings with going against these guys this year versus the struggles in the past couple seasons? Have you noticed a little bit of a difference?
Yeah, noticed a big difference. I know it's not as easy to hit against these guys this year, and that's a good note. So they're doing a really good job. Coach Parker's doing an amazing job, and the good thing with Coach Parker is he's just not focused on just the pitchers. He's like, me and Coda or Hines want to go ask him a question about, like, what do you think the pitchers will do in this situation? He's always helping us out. He pitched against us last year at South Carolina, and so he knows a lot about us and a lot of our tendencies and stuff. So just him, like, sharing that knowledge with us has just took our game to another level too.
Steve.
Defensively last year, this team had some struggles, but in the fall, things look to be tremendously better. What are your impressions?
Yeah, Coach's doing a really good job with us. We're getting our work in every day. We got like some older guys like me, Kohler, and Hines now. We're just making sure everybody's getting their work in. It's really more about consistency, bringing it every day, and keep stacking good days. And that's our main focus, is just stack good days, and those lead to the great days. So.
Cam.
You've mentioned trying to get this program kind of back to where it was, and Dakota said that y'all talk about Omaha and things like that quite a bit. Just what's it going to take? What are some specific things you think that's going to take to get this program back where it was?
So one of the things we think is that just win the first game. That's the biggest thing. And you know, the other day in FCA, they told us to write down a word, and my word was grounded. And I just felt like that word meant a lot for this team and for myself. Is just not get caught up in like thinking about Omaha, because that's so far from now. Just stay grounded where your feet are right now, and just continue to focus on the task at hand. Yep.
Parker says you responding. Lamona says he sees some differences in you. How do you feel under the Justin Parker direction, and how much more confidence do you have heading into this season compared to last?
Yeah, I feel really good. We prepared a lot. We've worked really hard. I feel like all the confidence comes from just being prepared.
Robbie?
Colby, Coach mentioned just so many bodies out there, so many guys that are in the mix. I mean, where do you kind of see your role this year with this team, and what do you feel like is the best fit for you? Where do you think you'll eventually settle in?
I really don't know what my role is going to be, but whatever it is, I'm going to buy into it. If it's a starter or long relief or closer, whatever it needs to be.
Steve?
So, a little bird told me you really like throwing your changeup, but you didn't throw it a whole lot last year.
Yeah.
Is that something that you're very comfortable doing, and do you expect to see more of that this year?
Yeah, definitely better this year. Got a lot more confidence in it. I had a lot of confidence in junior college, but then lost it last year. But I think it'll be back this year.
Can you kind of describe the change a little bit? I mean, was there variation on the change? How do you throw it?
No, it's just all it's all mechanics and all lower body.
Robbie?
One of the things that really plagued y'all last year on the mound was the walks. When you had the potential to get those outs. What's Coach Parker done to kind of alleviate that a little bit and make sure that y'all knock those numbers way down?
He's simplified like everything, just kind of making everything more simple and easier to do, just more repeatable. And everybody on the whole staff's throwing more strikes this year. So.
Cam?
Stone and Dave have kind of talked about maybe the pitching staff as a whole having more confidence this year. Just kind of where's that confidence come from for you guys?
Coach Parker's pushed us really hard. He's like a big alpha male. Like he'll get on us like anything, and I feel like just being very well prepared just kind of just made all the confidence come to us.
Steve?
A little more competition this year too. You bring in Cal Stevens and Carson Ligon. I mean, what kind of additions have they been to the staff, and how do you feel like the other guys that are contenders to start have responded to Power 5 competition rolling in?
Yeah, well, we love it. Like we all love competition. Like we need good arms. Like wish we had more arms. You know, wish we had more Power 5 arms.
Cam?
I know y'all have a great offense, probably a pain in the neck to pitch against them in scrimmages and stuff, but when you get into the real games, just how much confidence does that give you guys to know that you have an offense who's going to be able to put up a lot of runs more times than not?
Yeah, it's really good because like if you just give up 1 or 2 runs, like you really don't have to worry about losing the game. But I mean, you can't give up a big 8 spot or something. But if you just give up 1 or 2, we're gonna be fine.
Steve?
There were some times that like you pitched angry last year. I mean, and I remember the South Carolina game, we didn't get a call, and it's like you overthrew a little bit. That aspect of like the mental part of it with Parker, kind of preparing you from pitch to pitch. What's that been like, and what's he kind of focused on with you?
Just controlling emotions. Just kind of just being plain, simple. Just don't show any emotions. Don't show any good. Don't show any bad emotions.